So today we enter into the realm of sludge metal. So today we are in A standard. I'm using Polychrome DSP's Hypertune to do that. That way I don't have to change string gauge or even retune there. The first half of this etude focuses on the 6/8 rhythm. It sounds like a bunch of triplets, and that's because if you put it into, say, a 4/4 and played 4 groups of the same thing, or 4 lots of 3 per bar, you'd really get the same sort of sound. There's a lot of hammer-ons in this. You can pick it all, but it doesn't sound as good. The other thing to note is you want to focus on playing exactly where I've transcribed it. Initially, I did put it down into here, so we were playing the 4th string. But sludge metal really requires the thicker sound, so the more you can play those lower strings, the better off it's going to sound. I also switched to the rhythm pickup, so it fattens up the tone and character a bit more as well. If we look at the first 4 bars, we've got a repeating sort of ostinato motif sort of thing. It's going to run from the open 6th onto 10 and 12 on 6 by hammering on. We're going to briefly go to the 5th string, and then we're going to go back from 12 to 10 on string 1 via a pull-off. Notice in the 3rd bar, instead of returning from the 12th fret to the 10th fret on 6th, we're actually going to play 10th fret on the 5th. So it's a slight variation. And then we have the standard riff turnaround variation on the 4th bar. So that allows us to start the cycle again for the next time through. And we'll be doing another variation on that time. So the second time through is a bit different because we start off like we did previously, but then in the 2nd bar of the playthrough, we're going to do what we did in the 3rd bar of the previous cycle. Doing again what we started with, and then we've got the variation. Now this one's a good technique focus. We're going to pick, pull, slide, pick, pull, slide. Let's check that out. 11 to 12. So let's play the first 8 bars. When we get to bar 13, playing on to bar 16, it's identical to bars 5 to 6. And then we've got the extended variation sequence from bar 17 to 20. So this one, we've kind of looked at the technique. We have a pick, pull, slide. And we're going to do that 4 times from bars 17 to 18. That's essentially just descending down the blues scale. Except we don't play the open root tone. Then we're going to be pick, pull, pull from 5/3 to open. Then we've got a sort of a tricky sequence here, particularly at the full speed. 3rd fret to 5th, sliding into 7, and then we've got a position shift up to the 10th fret, hammer to 12, go to the 5th string, play 10, pick 12, slide up to 14, and then slide back to 12. So I'm going to do these 4 bars twice through. Let's look at bars 19 to 20 first. One more time. Now we're going to do bars 17 to 20. That's probably the trickiest bit out of the way, so we don't have to worry about things anymore. What we're going to do from this point forward is the melody. So there's not really much need to break this down too much, except to say that it's essentially descending through the pentatonic scale. So if we were to look at the notes in a higher octave, which is what I originally wrote it in the 7th position, and we looked at just the notes that we're doing, it's really just the pentatonic scale descending for the most part. With the obvious rhythmic differences because we're playing a riff as opposed to just a scale. The other thing to note is once we get to bar 21, which is where this begins, it will end at bar 36. And then actually the whole process just starts again and finishes in the same fashion. So no need to go through it twice. Some techniques that you'll need to be familiar with here are the slide in. And you'll also need the slurred hammer-on, which you'll find down in bar 30, 31 or 32, 32. Take note that that is a quick hammer-on. You don't want to do it like this. Otherwise it sounds completely different. So let's do this a little bit slower. And also note the dead note there, just at the end. On this part, bar 33. All you need to do that is just lightly rest the fingers across that string and you'll get the dead note. And that wraps things up. Don't forget to check out the sound slice. Enjoy practicing to the backing track, and I'll see you soon for another lesson. Until then, bye for now.